the graves of our time. While it is true that from the physical parlance, from the general parlance, people think of graves as site at places where the man or the woman who has died, or a young person or an elderly person who has died, is placed to rest. There is another kind of grave that I want to talk about this morning. And this grave concerns those who are alive. In our own time, in our own societies, in our own culture, a grave is a consequence of our own actions, which can lead to harm, which can lead to loss, which can lead to destruction. And what are the graves of our times this morning? We are seeing wars between nations. That is a grave. We are seeing disunity in the church. That is another grave. We are seeing the breakdown of families. Will that not be another grave? But this is on a general note. How about addressing it personally? From the personal side, a grave is that personal habit or pattern or behavior that one has that can lead to spiritual death, that can lead to emotional pain, and equally relational harm. Example: forgiveness, lack of reconciliation, pride, anger. We can go on and on to mention those personal things. All these things constitute the other grave I'm talking about. This is what we see in the life of the people of Israel. But the prophecy that the prophet Ezekiel receives, as he describes at chapter 27 of his book, is very apt. It is about the redemption and restoration of these people. In fact, they are likened to dry bones that are useful to nothing. They have lost hope. But today, God sends his servant. Preach to the dry bones. Preach to the people of Israel. Tell them that I will bring them back to their home. Amidst all of these things that I have described, God says, I will bring you back to where you were from the very beginning. Where were we from the very beginning? We were created to love. And that love began with the Creator. And we are to show it in our actions and in our choices. So, the culture of our time is about progress of convenience that does not talk about sacrifice. But an example has been given for us today, the example of Saint Rose of Lima. By her life, by her action, she lived a life of austerity, a life of prayer, a life of service to the elderly and the homeless, and indeed, she summed everything in these words: apart from the cross, there is no any other way to go to heaven. Am I going to choose the cross, or am I going to choose convenience? But the summary of the law today is about sacrifice. In one word, love. You cannot love without being sacrificial. So as we reflect on this, may God give us the strength to be able to be sacrificial as we claim to love God by showing it by those we see now.